be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he released a 30-second clip of a that tries to make me guilty and play into every stereotype you possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes old. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
A new target in his sights, NFL legend Shannon Sharpe. A brand new lawsuit was just filed in Nevada claiming Sharpe was manipulative and eventually a Jane Doe, with the latest claims allegedly happening as recently as January. We got our hands on the filing, and we're going to break down
A shakedown is what this is. This is wrong. So I will be honest, straightforward, and defend myself. All of this is the consequence of Tony Busby's criticism of Jay-Z. I suppose Tony Busby, who specifically targets black guys, is going to create a 30-second clip in which he attempts to make me appear guilty by playing into every stereotype you can imagine. Actually, that movie ought to last roughly 10 minutes. Hey Tony, please release the entire video rather than just your edited version. I wouldn't have it myself. Has an alternative objective. NFL icon Shannon Sharpe. According to a recent Nevada case, Sharpe was dishonest before becoming a Jane Doe. The most recent charges reportedly occurred as recently as January. We will examine everything now that we have the file. It appears that another woman filed a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe for SA, so he isn't getting any breaks. He can't stop accumulating SA lawsuits like infinity stones, even though he claims that their first accuser was dishonest. All right, Thanos. Over. A woman who says they were together for 10 years is his new accuser. Even Weiss. She says he intimidated and coerced her into silence in addition to snatching her. If she ever told anyone about it, he would destroy her life and career, she said. But hold on, that's not even the most absurd aspect. Already, there are warnings on the streets that more women might soon follow Shannon's example. And because Shannon is falling so quickly, it appears that this will be his final moment. Does Shannon actually do this, though? Or was it a well-planned attack that resulted in the death of a lone black man? Club The version performed by Shay Shay in South Africa appears to be entirely different. Let's examine it. Since his ex filed an SA lawsuit against him a few weeks ago, Shannon Sharpe has been battling for his life around the clock. While he was attempting to resolve that, fans discovered that one of his ex-girlfriends had filed a second complaint against him, alleging that he had also sexually abused her. In 2023, Shannon was sued in New York by another white lady, Michelle Evan, her former girlfriend. Even if she isn't that Michelle, there are rumors that she and Sharpe have been dating for about a decade, but they split up in 2010 after apparently fighting over his suspected adultery. Evans said she turned down Sharpe's proposal for the two to have. The defendant violently restrained me after putting me on my knees and performing non-consensual oral penetration. I objected, but he continued. She continued by saying that I was so preoccupied with my discomfort and the confusing character of his behavior that I harbored a deep-seated dread that resistance would have more negative consequences. The lawsuit claims that as he assisted her into bed and engaged in non-consensual vaginal, Sharpe 56 expressed his intention to ensure that no other man would want her. Michelle said that after Shannon was done, he interrupted her, saying that he would ruin her if she exposed him. She later obtained a restraining order against Shay Shay, claiming he levied threats of ruin, declaring that any attempt on my part to disclose his transgressions would be met with a comprehensive campaign to use everyone I know to destroy you. But she was so afraid for her life that she dropped it a few weeks later. She stated, I was sitting in my flat with my child after I applied for a restraining order. I was in danger when someone knocked on my door and said, "Shut up, FNB." I had a toddler at home at the time, so I immediately rushed and dropped it. My apartment's lower floor door led out to the sidewalk. As said before, this lawsuit was brought in 2023, but it got a lot of momentum with Shay's follow-up lawsuit, and he was being held responsible. Through his solicitors, he addressed the issue in his statement, stating, "It should come as no surprise that whenever a well-known person makes headlines, a variety of people come out of nowhere to reveal their relationship with them and try to make money off of their said relationship. Most of the time, these stories or assertions are only gossip, fantastical exaggerations, or occasionally outright falsehoods. They are distributed to reporters or posted on social media with deliberate factual omissions and a contempt for the truth. It is clear that this is done intentionally to construct and fabricate a story. Shannon Sharpe's situation is exemplified by the resuscitation of the Michelle Evans case. According to it, the fact is that Shannon hasn't spoken to this person in a long time, and she filed a civil complaint on her own, which is completely without substance, after failing to find a lawyer to pursue her absurd claim. As I previously stated, 2 lawsuits in a week are no laughing matter, which is why your Uncle Shay is fighting for his life. In the end, Shannon has done nothing wrong, and instead of using made-up defenses or anecdotes, she plans to refute these disgusting lies with actual evidence and documented proof. However, he doesn't appear to be doing well. I cried when you left because I begged you to put protection on and not put it in my behind, and you didn't listen, Gabriella Zuniga, his accuser, wrote in a recent text message that included screenshots to support her allegations. Our past doesn't matter to me. No means no, Shannon. Shannon remarked, I'm not sure how to handle this, and he might give her a call later. This is largely consistent with her case, in which she accused Shannon of manipulating and influencing her. She claimed that between October 2024 and January 2025, he violently assisted and attacked her from behind while flagrantly ignoring her requests for him to stop. Specific incidents of alleged physical violence and threats are mentioned in the lawsuit. After Sharpe yelled and sobbed, Shannon responded to her with a statement and some really offensive text messages, but she refused to accept the rejection. She posted things like, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me, in the primarily her own conversation. I know you miss this exquisite $25,000 each cheek. After sticking my tongue in your asshole, I want to be married to you, but I can't do whatever I want until you put that baby gravy inside of me. That's my father. Give me a huge black baby, please. If you put a large black baby in me, you'll be stuck with it forever, so you better crave it. Shannon later testified that this case, which was started by Gabriella Zuniga and was planned by her lawyer Tony Busby, is an obvious and dishonest attempt to swindle Mr. Sharpe of millions of dollars to obtain a large compensation. Mr. Sharpe was shown a covertly filmed video of a friendly sexual encounter by Mrs. Zuniga. We think that the film has been excessively manipulated and pulled out of context in order to portray a consenting behavior as non-consensual. Furthermore, the evidence presents a clear picture, they said. Miss Zuniga specifically sought out role-playing, explicit language, and fantasy scenarios in her consenting adult relationship. Because of this editing and the fact that it is out of context with previous text exchanges, the altered tape that Miss Anna surreptitiously made and played to Mr. Sharpe during her effort at blackmail aims to fraudulently represent the personal action as not being voluntary. Mr. Sharpe vehemently disputes any accusations of compulsion or misbehavior, particularly the egregious essay lie, and refuses to assist in what he perceives to be a terrible attempt at blackmail. In court, he is ready to fiercely defend the truth against these unfounded charges. He anticipates a fair trial and a ruling that supports his position based on the law and the facts. Furthermore, his attorney attempted to portray Gabriella as a wealth digger by claiming that she was aware that Mr. Sharpe was going to sign a highly valuable contract. I explained it to her since, in my view, this is the traditional meaning of blackmail that gives it the most power. She understood it and used it. What she does on OnlyFans was for money and a role-playing and a virtual fantasy with money who pay her, he continued, claiming that Gabrielle was a developer for OnlyFans. The plaintiff actually began invoicing Mr. Sharpe at that point. Given the facts, this is who she is. My description is limited to the fact that she charges users to participate role-playing games on OnlyFans. Tony Busby, her attorney, was determined to protect his client's reputation from the harm Shannon's team was causing. He revealed that they had made a covert offer of $10 million to Gabriella in exchange for her silence. Back in early February, our office called Mr. Sharpe on Jane Doe's behalf and brought up the topic of a meeting, he stated. Eventually, after several discussions, a mediation was held. During the mediation, Sharpe was represented by several attorneys. Following the mediation process, which lasted more than 6 weeks, Mr. Sharpe made a sizable settlement offer. But Doe filed this complaint after declining the significant amount that Sharpe offered. Although Mr. Sharpe and his attorneys maintained that Jane Doe's complaint was without merit, It has since come to light that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing to have her withdraw her complaint. That's true. In actuality, Jane Doe decided to go to court rather than accept the $10 million settlement offer. As expected, Sharpe and his associates are now attacking me in an attempt to dox her and discredit her. We won't be discouraged by these strategies, he added. Many people are now questioning if Shannon and his crew bought off Miss Michelle, who has largely remained silent about her complaint, which makes this really intriguing. If you think about it, it was almost like he was trying to repay Gabriella. It doesn't make complete sense if she revoked the order of protection because she felt threatened. Furthermore, according to Tony Busby, the texts that Shannon and his lawyers made public were old exchanges that were exchanged before the purported essay occurrences. For everyone there, the maths isn't really maths. The real explanation, according to fans, is that she was bought off. If nothing else, that should have convinced her that she needed the protection.
Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You wanna be a dickie now, so...
I don't wanna be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see it. Thank you.
Okay. Well... I don't...
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice.
All of the texts that Mr. Sharpe's counsel made public today that were allegedly from Jane Doe are dated before the alleged brutal was laid out in Jane Doe's case, he said. It seems evident that the texts were released to the public in an effort to deflect criticism of the allegations in Jane Doe's complaint. It won't work. If we know anything about Mr. Oi Busby, it's that he's a bit of a tenacious guy who never backs down from a battle. After all, you all remember how he faced up against Jay-Z's lawyer last year and the beginning of this year. When he and his lawyer started to play dirty by naming Gabriella after filing as Jane Doe and revealing her details, Tony Busby was ready to get into trouble with Shannon. Showed a tape recording of Shannon threatening to choke Gabriella. I don't know. You'll just become angry and hang up the phone in reaction to whatever I say. It is unlikely that I will end the call. That's what it is. What? What does that signify, though? Nothing. Gabby, you want to dick me now? Oh, I would rather not be. Don't attempt to dominate me. Have patience with her. If you say it again when I see you, I'm going to choke the living daylights out of you. Thank you. Well, what do you know? I don't. But I don't want to tell the truth. Yes, you do. It appears that you have no influence on the situation. In another audio tape, Shannon made a horrible comment about a big black man choking a small white woman. I don't really want to get strangled, so I guess we're going. I could strangle you in public. Yes. A large black man chokes a small white woman. Yes, it isn't helping Jen at all. Even if he is found not guilty, his fans already think he is quite weird for fantasizing about strangling someone half his size. The contents of this clip are certainly not well. Tony Busby commented upon the release of the audio. They don't engage in play. Rather, they are dangerous, antagonistic, and distressing. It is clear from the tape that Jane Doe was mistreated by Sharpe, which led her to leave Nevada and stop speaking to him. Furthermore, he said, Mr. Sharpe's aggressive strategy will really work against him. The truth does not frighten Miss Doe. She depends on it. Since the facts in this case are more important than a desperate public spin from a sports celebrity, I am excited to submit the evidence through the legal system. Shannon is attempting to downplay the significance of this. User Ness is doing well. He still works and participates in Osinko's show and Club Shay, but this lawsuit is causing him a lot of problems.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big guy choke small white woman.
For instance, it is said that he is still working on a podcast contract worth $0.00 million. No one wanted to be involved in this disaster, even though he was quite close to signing the contract. They are attempting to maintain their distance. In order to address the matter, he has also temporarily resigned from his position at ESPN. Although he stated that his resignation was voluntary, there are suspicions that the network pressured him to do so or risked suspending him, which would have made matters worse. Therefore, he stated in the declaration, "This is the truth, and mine is here. This relationship was entirely voluntary. I have decided to temporarily resign from my position with ESPN. I'll be reacting to these unfounded and disruptive accusations against me while spending this time with my family. As soon as the NFL preseason begins, I intend to rejoin ESPN." It doesn't appear that this drama will end anytime soon, as the streets now claim that even more women are allegedly getting ready to suit Shannon for SA in the upcoming weeks. I truly value the unwavering and ongoing support I've had from my friends, family, fans, and co-workers. The drama is about to get real, so Shannon might want to keep his lawyers on quick dial. However, I discovered what you folks thought of this absurd circumstance in the comments section below. Is your Uncle Shay innocent? In your opinion? Tell me after watching this following video.